Hello everyone, welcome to the online Patashala. In the previous sessions, in the two sessions, we have learned about what is how the classification of elements and the general introduction of the periodic properties. Now we will go into what is actually the periodic properties are. Right? Before that, you need to learn about periodicity and what are periodic properties. What is meant by periodicity? This is the definition of periodicity. When elements are arranged in the increasing order of their atomic numbers. As you know earlier that in the whole periodic table, the elements are being arranged in the form of the increasing order of their atomic numbers, right? Increasing order of their atomic numbers. Elements with similar properties reoccur at regular intervals. That means when they are arranged in the increasing order of their atomic numbers, if the elements are reoccurring in the same regular intervals of atomic numbers in the periodic table, this repetition, right? This regular intervals are repeated, right? This repetition of properties is known as periodicity. The properties which are affecting to this periodicity is known as periodic properties. What? Periodic properties. What actually periodicity is? Right? This is the periodic table, right? Right? This is the periodic table, right? In this, the whole periodic table, the elements are arranged in the increasing order, right? And these, for suppose, if you take this first group, second group, total 18 groups are present, right? Okay? If these are arranged in the increasing order and if it is showing the regular intervals, then those elements and those period or a group, you will be calling it as it is having periodicity. Let's take it. First, you need to learn about what is actually meant by periodicity. The definition. Once again, I am explaining you. When the elements are arranged, right? When in this, the elements are arranged in the increasing order of their atomic numbers. In the previously, elements have been arranged in the form of atomic weights. But later, after discovering, coming more methods, and they have concluded and they have given a law that the elements are being arranged in the increasing order of their atomic numbers, right? When these elements is having with similar properties, that means each element which is arranged in the increasing order, when it is showing similar properties, it will reoccur at regular intervals, right? It will be reoccurring in the regular intervals of atomic number. We are talking about only atomic numbers and it is increasing in the form of an atomic numbers, right? In the periodic table. The whole we will be learning in the periodic table. This repetition of properties is known as periodicity. The properties which affect are known as periodic properties, right? And now we will be seeing what are those all properties which are affecting the electronic configuration. The properties which it will be depending on the electronic configuration, right? All these properties will be depending on the electronic configurations, and in this lesson we will be learning 8 different types of properties, right? What is the first property? Atomic radii. What? Atomic radius or radii. Next is ionization. Ionization enthalpy you will be telling. You can either call it as ionization potential and you can either call it as ionization energy. Okay? Either way you can call. Next is electron affinity. What? Electron affinity. Next is electronegativity. What? Electronegativity. And next is electropositivity. Okay, and next is valency. Next is metallic and non-metallic nature. How this metallic nature and non-metallic nature is having in a periodic table we will be learning. And next is oxidizing and reducing property, right? And one more thing other is there, that is diagonal relationship. What? Diagonal relationship. Okay, these all are the properties which are affecting or which will be depending on electronic configuration. The properties which are depending on the electronic configuration, if they ask in a question, you will be getting these all properties. Okay, and in detail we will be learning each property, and each property how it is being varying in a group and a period, across a group along a period, right? You are having group and a period. What is group? Group, it is from top to bottom. These terminologies you need to be get clarified. You should not get confused. Group is nothing but from top to bottom. Period is left to right. Period is nothing but from left to right. Okay, these are the properties. What are those? Atomic radii, ionization energy or ionization potential or ionization enthalpy, electron affinity, electronegativity, electropositivity, valency, what is metallic and non-metallic character, oxidizing and reducing property, and diagonal relationships. And if you are done with these all properties, and one more thing, you may get a doubt that there are other properties like specific heat, right? Specific heat, color, etc. These are also properties, but this will be not depending on the electronic configurations. So that is the reason we will not consider this specific heat, color and etc. work and all you will be not considering in the periodic properties. Okay, these are only the periodic properties which we will be learning in the periodic classification of periodic table, and in detail you will be learning if you take atomic radii, you know that the periodic table in a group how the atomic radii is varying, and in a period how electronegativity is varying, and again in a group how valency, how oxidizing and reducing. And before going into this all properties, you need to know about few different terminologies, and those are what is screening effect, what is screening effect or shielding effect. Okay, before going into in detail of these properties, you need to learn about what is screening or shielding effect. Screening effect or shielding effect, right? See, you know that center you are having a nucleus. Around the nucleus the shells are present, right? Around the nucleus the shells are present, and this last shell you will be calling it as valence shell, right? Valence shell. Center is the nucleus and outermost shell the valence shell. In the valence shell, if the electrons are present, in the valence shell, if the electrons are present, you will be calling it as valence electrons, right? Valence This is the valency shell. If the electrons are present, that is known as valence electrons, right? In the center is the nucleus, that is you will be having positive charge, and electron you are having a negative charge. That means some of the other attractions will be present in the outermost shell to the nucleus, right? And this attractions, you will be having more attractions, right? In the center and to the nucleus, you will be having more attractions. In some way, these attractions will be decreased, right? These attractions will be decreased. Why it is decreasing? Because due to the presence of inner electrons. What? Due to the presence of inner electrons. Here also, if for suppose in the last shell, if electrons are present, obviously in before the shell, electrons will be present, right? In the inner shells, electrons will be present. Due to the presence of inner electrons or inner shells, you will be having the repulsions, right? Due to this repulsions, the attraction between the nucleus and valence shell electrons decreases. What? Decreases, right? Now, why we have called it as shielding effect, or why we have called it as screening effect? Screening is nothing but this inner electrons acts as a screen between the nucleus and the outermost shell. Okay, this screen will be acting as a screen of this nucleus and the outermost shell. Due to this inner electrons, how you will be telling screening effect? The attractions between the nucleus and the outermost shell decreases. Why it is decreasing? Due to the presence of inner shells, they will be having a repulsions between the shells or between the electrons. So that is the reason there will be decrease in the nucleus and the valency shell. Now you understood what is meant by, if more number of, for suppose, more number of inner shells are present. What? More number of inner shells are present. That means the screening effect decreases. What? If inner shells increases, simply you remember like this, inner shell increases, right? Shielding effect or screening effect decreases, right? If here inner shells are increasing, the attractions between this valency and the nucleus and the valency shell decreases, right? And the same, obviously the shielding effect decreases. This is the most important terminology, or screening effect is you will be having for all the properties, right? This is what about the general introduction of periodicity and the periodic properties. In the next session, we will be in detail learn about what is atomic radii, how it is varying, and what are the factors affecting for this, all the properties we will be learning in the next session. Okay, I hope you understood this video. Please like, share and subscribe to the online Pathashala.